Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. And when I was getting ready to name my daughter right before she was born, in fact, we named her literally hours before my girlfriend went into labor and we had our daughter Madison a year ago today. It's insane to think that she's a year old. We went through a lot of discussion about the type of name we wanted to use. We went through a lot of different choices, some more common and others more, well, out there. And oftentimes, when we talked about the more out there names, it had everything to do with how they would be perceived, right? Because it has been proven, and this is true, it has been proven that people with exceptionally difficult names to pronounce or to spell actually end up doing worse in life as a result. And it's just everything to do with the fact that the names are complicated, and when it comes to certain things like job interviews and things like that, if it's difficult for the person to remember you or to whatever, then you're going to find yourself in a bit of trouble. And that's one of the reasons why this, and I'm going to be totally called a dick for this. One of the reasons why I'm kind of, I'm kind of not as angered by this as I should be, I guess, maybe as a parent. But anyway, a mom slams Southwest Airlines for mocking her daughter's name. And we can see her name. Her name is ABCDE Redford. And so, yeah, this happened a few weeks ago. It's just coming out now. A lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been mad at Southwest Airlines, the employee, for mocking the girl's name. Now, I don't agree with mocking the girl at all. That's not her fault. Her name is not her fault. Her name is her mom's fault. And her mom seems very, very, very adamant about choosing that specific name. And that, again, that's fine. That's fine. But again, all actions have consequences. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. Now, it says here, a Texas mom is outraged after a Southwest Airlines worker made fun of her 5-year-old daughter's name by snapping a picture of the girl's boarding pass and posting it on social media. Now, as much as I'm against naming the kid the name she named her, because I do think it's dumb, I'm also very much against the Southwest employee taking a picture of that and putting it on social media. Mocking a 5-year-old over something that's not her fault is in no way cool. And at no point is my commentary aimed at the child itself. She has done nothing wrong. And hopefully by the time she's 16, she will have chosen a name that is much easier to pronounce and she will have it legally changed. Hopefully. Anyway, Tracy Redford from El Paso says the agent at John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, began poking fun at her daughter's name, ABCDE, pronounced ABCDE or ABCDE. ABCDE. As they boarded a flight a few weeks ago and put it online for users to shame the girl who suffers from epilepsy. But okay, hold on here. Her being an epileptic, which again is terrible, has no bearing on her name. What kind of virtue signal is that right there? Right? Well, she's got epilepsy. You can't make fun of her name. Now, hold on. You don't know she had epilepsy, so you can't use that against her. But her name is still ABCDE. 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 You know what? It's a very unique name. Very, very kind of snowflakey. Anyway, the gate agent started laughing and pointing at me and my daughter, talking to other employees. So I turned around and said, hey, if I can hear you, my daughter can hear you. So I'd appreciate it if you would just stop. Redford said she only recently learned that the agent took a picture and put it online after a friend spotted it circulating on social media. Saying while I was sitting there, she took a picture of my boarding pass and chose to post it on social media, mocking my daughter. It was actually brought to my attention by someone who'd seen it on Facebook and reported it to Southwest Airlines. And after 2 weeks of doing a formal complaint, Southwest hadn't done anything. Southwest apologized for the incident, but would not say if the unidentified worker was disciplined. Southwest says here, the post is not indicative of the care, respect, and civility we expect from all of our employees. We have followed up with the employee involved, and while we do not disclose personnel actions publicly, we are using this as an opportunity to reinforce our policies and emphasize our expectations for all employees. Basically means slap on the wrist, don't do it again, and they're probably going to use it in their training for what not to do when encountering a person's name of which you find to be humorous or interesting or odd or weird. It's just that, and that's proper customer service. All right. You never say it to their face. You simply mock them behind their back. And if you're upset at that, that's just the reality of the world we live in. Every business has either customers like that get talked about or whatever. It is just the way the world works. Again, mocking a 5-year-old is not something I'm for. What I'm more upset about is what I feel is a direct hindrance on this girl's existence. And I do put that on her mom. I do. Right? Her mom clearly loves her daughter, and no one's debating that. But when you name your child like that, when you try to be so unique, when you try to be so just in that world where you've run out of ways to rhyme with Aiden, right? I mean, my buddy the other day was telling me a story, but there's a kid in his son's class named Chieftain. Chieftain. A kid named Chieftain. Dude's whiter than white bread. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay. Parents these days want their children to have unique names. Why? Because they want their child to be special. They would rather make that part of their identity, part of who they are, rather than try to teach them skills and something they can use to better the world, or hell, if anything, at the very least, better their own lives. I look at someone like Tracy Redford here, who named her daughter ABCDE. And all I can think of is I hope to God that child does not get overweight. I do. I hope the child stays petite, because if she gains a little bit of weight, if she hits that prepubescent bulk up of weight before hitting, that growth spurt in her later teens, ABCDE is going to be renamed to obesity. And that's going to be used to mock her relentlessly. It's putting herself in the line of fire. All right. My name is Matt and I'm overweight. You can kind of guess what name I was called when I was a kid, right? If my name was Brad, it wouldn't really rhyme as well. I'm sure someone would find a way. Children are inherently mean. And then again, so are adults. It is. Now, the Southwest worker is entirely in the wrong here. I want to make that abundantly clear. They're entirely in the wrong. They should not, under have any circumstances, taken a picture of that and posted it online, right? And I'm assuming that they also didn't blur out her last name, because I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to look that up and find it, right? The last thing you want to do is dox a 5-year-old or her family. And sharing that information around in certain circles, again, it's just kind of going like, holy shit, you see this name? And again, I get that because people are going to talk. And if Tracy is not happy about it because she's obviously her daughter's mom, that's a reality. You got to think about that, right? When we were picking Madison's names, we were thinking like, okay, what rhymes with it? What can be used against it? How could it, what could she be up against? These are things you have to kind of take into account. But when I think you move on from a name, and you go for the most unique, nonsensical spelling of a name that you can think of, you invite that on your child. I'm sorry. It's you. You invite that on your kid. When you name your kid ABCDE, right? Or ABCDE or whatever. And people are going to always have to ask how to spell that, how to pronounce that. And then they're going to have to ask multiple times. And then they're going to make it sound like obesity. And then if she gets fat at all, it's going to be called obesity. That's going to be her name through high school. It's going to mock her relentlessly during high school because you set her up to fail in that regard. And I'm not saying don't name her something cool. But when you look at naming your children the same way you want to name a pet, right? I'm surprised we don't have a parent who's named their child Mr. Whiskers. No, Mr. is his first name. Whiskers is his middle name. Call me old fashioned, call me conservative in that regard, but God damn it, name your kids something fucking, it doesn't have to be bland. It doesn't have to be a Matt. I still don't know why they called me Matt. I think it's because my cousins all have names that come out of the Bible, and it just seemed like just a family thing, right? But when you name, when you give your kid a pretentious name like that, it says more about you, that you're trying to make your child an accessory versus a person. That's how I view it, right? You put undue burden on your kid because you want to feel like you've got a special child, instead of just loving your daughter for who she is and helping her grow to be special. You force something on her that's not her fault and that she will ultimately take the blame for. That's how I see it. Now, you might see it differently. We could have some very serious disagreements about this in the comments, and I'm curious to see them. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. Be sure to thumbs up the video. And if you made it this far, why not type ABCDE in the chat so I know. And don't mock children. It's not right. Parents, be better about naming them. God damn it. Just be better about naming them. Be better about naming your kids. Name them something stupid and something like this is going to happen. And then you're going to hinder if they don't get it changed later on, you do run the risk, and this has been proven, you run the risk of hurting their chances at scholarships or at programs or at jobs because their name becomes too much of a hassle for the person to want to deal with. Sad, but absolutely true. So leave your comments below. Again, it should be a lot of fun. Talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.